From the class of 1973, considered by many the most outstanding line in the history of West Haven High School hockey, Steve Balaban, Frank Longobardi, and Depew. From the class of 1987, volleyball, basketball, and softball.
Thinker. Different players, same goal. What happens when you get three players at the top of their game in each of the above categories? Well, the answer was simple when it came to Steve Balaban, Frank Longobardi, and Dave Depew. The trio complemented each other so well, they knew exactly where each was on the ice. That knowledge of each other paid huge dividends when all was said and done, as the trio went on to become one of the most prolific lines in West Haven hockey history. Balaban, Longobardi, and Depew formed one of the most feared lines on the ice in the 1970s, putting up phenomenal numbers. As a result, the trio becomes the first complete line of a hockey team to enter the West Haven Hall of Fame. After limited action as a sophomore and feeling more comfortable as a junior, Longobardi was ready to thrive as a senior. The trio embarked on a trip to Finland and Switzerland for 2 weeks over the summer, where they learned a lot about each other and how to maximize their talent. Everything culminated in a berth in the state finals before the Westies lost to Hamden. As a junior, Depew and his squad helped snap Hamden's 32-game winning streak against state teams as he scored the winning goal. Depew led the team in scoring with 9 goals, 20 assists, and 29 points, receiving all-county honorable mention. After the trip to Europe became senior year, Depew was elected the team's captain as a senior, and along with Longobardi and Balaban, the three were in the top 3 in points all season. The trio was nicknamed the GAP line, goal a period, as the team set a school record in goals, scored with 152, surpassing the prior record of 102. Balaban, Longobardi, and Depew set a school line record of 80 goals and a school record in wins with 18. With the GAP line finishing 1, 2, and 4 in the state in scoring, the team advanced to the championship game against Hamden, won by the Green Dragons. The start of senior year saw the Westies open the season with an 11-0 win over Hall, with Longobardi scoring 5 times, Balaban scoring twice, and Depew scoring once and adding 7 assists. Depew received the Russell B. McKeon Most Valuable Player Award presented by the West Haven Penalty Box Club following his senior campaign. After moving from Northern Florida to West Haven, Balaban played freshman and junior varsity football before starting as the team's tight end his junior year. A ruptured spleen on the final game of the season caused him to miss most of his junior year of hockey. Balaban was the sniper on the team, scoring plenty of big goals in the successful 1972-1973 season, but credits the hard work of his teammates for his team's success. The three had their roles, as Balaban had the talent, Longobardi was the grinder, getting to all the loose pucks, and Depew had the hockey sense. Balaban and Longobardi went on to play 3 seasons together at the University of Connecticut, where Balaban played 99 games in 4 years, accumulating 101 points, which still ranks in the top 25 in all-time scoring. Longobardi was elected as the assistant captain his senior year at Connecticut and was one of the leading scorers on the team in both his junior and senior campaigns. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Balaban, Frank Longobardi, and Dave Depew.
Never easy to follow the captain, you know. So, but really great to be here and back in West Haven. It's been a long time, and living in Manhattan now with my wife, and so come back to West Haven is really pretty special. And I want to thank the committee and John Capone. And John doesn't remember when I was on KFP Little League team in the All-Star game, and he was the same size in Little League as he is now. He would throw the ball, and he'd be like halfway down to home plate, and this little kid was up there just swinging and just praying he wasn't going to get hit, and that was me. So we had some good times. But I want to thank all of my friends from my teammates. Really, so great to have them here. And spent some time last night, with all of them was really special. But Dave mentioned Tinker, and when I heard from Maureen and I heard from John that Tinker really had remembered us, that meant really so much to me and both of them, and it really meant a lot that somebody remembered us from that long ago. And so Maureen, I'll always remember that, and that was really special. So to be here tonight is really a great event. I want to thank my family, my lovely wife Pat, who's always stood beside me. We were goal judges after I graduated from UConn, playing with Steve all those years. We were goal judges at UConn the year after, and Pat was a much better goal judge than I was. I kept flipping the light on as the puck was not going into the net. I want to thank Matt and Katrina, my son and daughter-in-law, and my daughter Kristen, and David, her fiance, they'll be married in September, for coming tonight, and my brother Ronnie, and Louisa, and Mark, and Bern, and Bob, and Sue, and Tammy. These are really good friends of mine, and they've, to come here tonight means a lot to me. So let's talk a little bit about how I got into hockey. So I won't be more than an hour tonight, I promise. So I got into hockey. West Haven rink was built, and I was skating. Steve and I used to skate on Lake Phibbs, but I was not a very good skater. So Gary Lewis, who was on our team, who's now deceased, and we pray for him. So he called me and said, they're having tryouts tomorrow at the West Haven rink for Bantams. Would you like to go? I said, me try out? He says, everyone's going to make it. It's brand new teams. I said, okay, I'll show up. So I showed up. I made the team. I played on DJ's Cafe. And I remember Dickie Hildebrand was our coach. And Dickie Hildebrand is a great hockey player, both in West Haven and University of New Haven. And we started playing. I was playing defense at the time because I couldn't skate. And so he put me on defense. And then he kept me after practice because I could not lift the puck. So I had to practice like bucket after bucket of pucks and just kind of throw them up against the boards till I lifted it, and then he'd let me, continue to play. So that was fun, and we ended up winning our championship, and I did score the winning goals. That was really a lot of fun. So I improved quite a bit, and hockey became a passion. I mean, it became so much a part of my life. It was like more important than anything else I was doing. And so then what I did is I went to University of Notre Dame, and back then Notre Dame did not have a hockey team, so no big deal. And I had a paper route, and I ended up going to, who was on my paper route but Art Krause, Coach Krause. So I remember going there, and one day I flipped in the paper, hello Mr. Krause, and he said, Frank, are you going back to Notre Dame next year? I said, yes. Went home that night, and I'm lying in bed, and I'm saying, why did he ask me that question if I'm going back to Notre Dame? Next day, I couldn't wait to see him. Gave him the paper, and I said, Mr. Krause, why did you ask me if I was going back to Notre Dame? He says, I think you can play hockey at West Haven. My face must have lit up. So I was like, wow. So I ran home, said to my mom, I'm going to West Haven next year. That's what I did. And it was a great thing. And I remember at a banquet, Mr. Krause said, Notre Dame's loss is our loss. And, and I kind of laughed at that, but he was always a good friend, and I always appreciated all that he did. Playing with Steve and Dave was really special. They were just good friends and good camaraderie, and we really fed off each other. I mean, both were really, really good players, much better than I was. I really tried hard and worked hard in the corners and did all that stuff, but these guys had the talent, and they were just great to play with and great friends, and we had such a great time. And the hardest part was losing that last game, and to this day my wife will tell you how I have not forgotten losing to Hampton in the finals. I mean, it was devastating. It was absolutely devastating. And even to this day, I still think about it a lot. And it really, really bothers me that we lost. But what can you do? Some win, some lose, and that's where we were. And they were a great team, so I have to give them, I have to tip my hat to them. They were really, really a great team. But it was a great game, and you know, we had a great season, and we had tons of fun, but we didn't win the big one. But we'll get them next time in another life, I guess. But I just wanted to share with you what hockey, you know, taught me throughout my life. You know, it taught me a lot about how hard work pays off, right? You got to work hard. No matter what you do today, you've got to work hard. You got to put in the effort. And hockey taught me that because I wasn't really skilled, right? I was okay, but it was really the hard work, the effort, you know, that ability to just kind of keep grinding. That's really what separated me. It taught me about listening. You know, like I had to listen because Dave, you had to really listen to because he would sometimes mumble, and I had to make sure I knew what he was saying. But I understood the Depew language by the time my career ended. And then Steve, same thing, right? I had to make sure I understood exactly what they're saying because if we were communicating, we were successful. And we had to communicate on the ice, and we did that quite a bit. And then teamwork, you know, teamwork and collaboration. You know, I think back on that team, we had great players. I mean, a lot of great players. And as you see with teams today, it's not the players that, you know, are at this level. It's all the players. You need everybody to be working together. It's about teamwork. It's about collaboration. It's about how we work together as a group to be successful. And that really is what drove me and really what drives me today. And then the last thing is passion. You know, I just think we all need to have a passion about what we do. And the passion for hockey was just so intense back then. I mean, it was really just special and fun. And I remember being over in Europe, and you know, we were like rock stars over there because they all thought, you know, we were somebody, and you were signing autographs in Finland and Switzerland, but it was really a lot of fun, and we had a ball, and it was really good. I'll tell you one quick story though. After the Hamden game, we lost. You know, and I look at hockey today because I coached my son with Mr. Zimmerman over there, who I taught everything he knew about being a coach. I taught my son, you know, coached him for years, and I remember the parents, you know, were so invested, you know, in what our kids did, right? Well, back then, parents didn't even go to games. I mean, they didn't go to games. It wasn't a big deal. You know, it was like, okay, you going to the hockey game tonight? Good, have fun. I got home from the state championship. We lost 3-0, and I'm crying my eyes out. And my mom says, who won? I said, we lost. We lost, and I'm crying, and I said, we lost 3-0. She goes, oh, that's not bad. You know, and it's like, you know, but today, the parents would have been there, they would have been all over it, so much different. So in closing, you know, as we enter the Christmas season, I just want you to all think about how lucky we are, right? I mean, we really are lucky, and sometimes we forget about that. And I want to give you a quote from the Olympic gold medalist Jesse Owens said, find the good, it's all around you. And it really is. It's all around us right here tonight. It's all around the people that we deal with every day. It's all around our family, our friends, and remember that, because it's so easy to forget that as you look at the world around us today and all the things that come at us, and you know, the pressures and the politics and all that stuff. So take a deep breath for Christmas season and just remember how lucky we really are. So thank you very much, and I'm just honored.